Ten Commandments. I've been thinking about these three. And if you take these three of the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, and thou shalt not steal, you will agree with me that these are the three biggest problems plaguing our society today. Let me explain to you what Jesus says in the New Testament about these particular commandments. One, Jesus equates to an uncontrolled anger and rage that causes murder. Then he talks about lust that causes people to commit adultery. And then he talks about stealing. Stealing is the taking of somebody else's possessions that doesn't belong to you by force or by theft. Those are the three biggest problems plaguing our society today. People have uncontrolled anger, which causes them to commit murder. People commit adultery because lust is what leads people to commit that sexual sin inside of marriage. And then this last one about stealing. It is taking the possessions of others by force and theft. It is taking what doesn't belong to you, and you take it by any means necessary. So I want to deal with all three of these, of the three Ten Commandments in Exodus chapter 20. I want to do verse 13, 14, and 15. And Jesus in the New Testament kind of amplifies and gives the root cause of these three problems. And killing, it's rage and uncontrolled anger. Adultery is lust. And stealing, it is people who don't want to go out and get what they want through honest work, effort. And so these three of the Ten Commandments, I would declare that are the three most relevant things plaguing our society. Now, we had a deadly weekend in Mississippi. We had a shooting in Leland, Mississippi, where about 6 people died. We had a killing in Hollyburg, Mississippi. We had also a shooting at Alcorn, Jackson State, and Rosenfork High School. All of this killing. And what Jesus calls it murder. Murder is the taking of a human life with malice and forethought, and you take an innocent life. And we had a lot of that this weekend. People don't have any sense of a value for human life. And it's plaguing our society. And so I want to talk about these three things. The first one is, thou shalt not kill. Or really, it is thou shalt not murder. Murder, somebody taking of innocent life through the means of violence. Now, I'm going to give you these couple of things that I want to share with you. Guns are not the problem. Guns are not the problem. Guns don't shoot people. People shoot people. Because I know half of my Bible study got guns. One of my members just set her purse on the back of the table, and it looked a little heavy and weighted. And I was praying that pistol didn't go off. So that gun in her purse ain't gonna shoot nobody. But she done said on many occasions, don't let her go in her purse. So guns are not the problem. Most of us are gun owners, and our guns have never shot anybody. Our guns have never victimized anybody, never shot at anybody. And so our guns are not the problem. People are the problems. To own a gun is not a criminal thing, nor is it a sinful thing. You have a right to own a gun for self-protection, or what the law calls stand your ground. If you see an imminent threat caused by somebody else, you have a right to defend yourself if that threat is imminent and might cause injury or death. That's not illegal, nor is it sinful. But we have in our society a problem with people who have guns, who first of all shouldn't have any business having guns. I was reading an article of how many guns have been stolen out of cars. These people who are doing this killing don't even have a legal right to own a gun because they are convicted felons, or either they're underage. Most of the people who done the shooting at the high schools were all underage and really don't have a legal right to possess a firearm, and some who, if they're not underage, they were convicted felons. And these are people who use gun ownership in a reckless way that injures other people. And I'm telling you, Jesus really talked about the source of murder or killing is this uncontrollable rage and anger people have. People do not know how to control their emotions. And so therefore it leads to this rage that people will act out in a violent way and take in human life. Now I want to see by the raising of hands, and y'all can raise your hand, how many of you believe in the death penalty? The death penalty. If somebody takes somebody's life, do you believe that their life should be taken? How many people believe in it by the raising of hands? The death penalty. Anybody believe in the death penalty? If first degree murder, taking an innocent life, so I didn't have anybody to raise their hand. Okay, how many of you believe what Jasmine Crockett believes is that when people commit crimes, they have a reason for committing crimes, and sometimes you have to think about why a person is committing crime. The thing that Paul and Peter specifically tells us is that the job of the government is to protect us and to punish evildoers. That's what Paul says, and pretty much what Peter says, and Peter amplifies it more because he talks about the role of government. It only has one job, and that is to protect us from evildoers and to make sure there is a deterrent for crime. The problem we have in our country, the problem with our present culture, society, government, and laws is there is no deterrent for crime. Now, in most countries, if you commit a crime that is so heinous, they deal with you immediately. Mississippi tonight is going to execute a man on death row for a crime he committed about 30 years ago. And what it's going to do, it is his punishment for his crime. The thief on the cross said to the other thief that wanted Jesus to get him off the cross, he says, we are getting a just punishment for our deeds of what we've done. It is important for us to understand you're never going to solve the crime problem if there is no deterrent, if there is no punishment, if there is no consequence. So Jesus amplifies this and says the root of murder and killing is uncontrolled rage, which comes from anger issues that causes us to want to take out somebody else's life. Your life and my life means something. What I cannot give you and you can't give me is life. You can help my life be more comfortable, more peaceful, but once you take life, you can't give it. I can produce a life, but I cannot give life. And so you don't have a right to take a human life. There is nothing about a circumstance that you're in that is fueled by anger and leads up to rage that should make you want to take somebody else's life. Unless there is an imminent threat to your own life, if there's an imminent harm to your own life, then you have a right to defend yourself. And you have a right to take them out before they take you out. But other than that, there is no justification for just killing somebody because you're mad, because you're angry, because you want revenge, or because you feel like you have been wronged. It's not worth it. So many people in jail now, if they could do it all over again, they wouldn't do it the same way. And so I'm telling you, we live in a society and a culture where people don't even think that far. They don't think beyond their rage and anger, and then they go out and take somebody's life and don't realize that that has consequences. And one of the things is you don't know how many people that one death or murder affects. It is a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, children, friends, and neighbors that are affected by one deed of taking somebody's life. One of the reasons why we live in a culture where killing and murder is so rampant is we've normalized it. We're not surprised about the heinous things people do anymore. We have been desensitized to the effect that shooting a gun has on people. We've been desensitized. And I'm telling you, God gave this commandment to the children of Israel when they came out of Egypt. Don't commit murder, don't kill. Don't kill innocent people. In the Old Testament, it was an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. You take a life, you surrender, and your life can be justifiably taken. I'm telling you, we live in a society where this stuff has become normal. These young people don't have any conscience, they have no restraint, and they will shoot a gun without a care. They don't care where the bullets land. Those people in Leland there to celebrate homecoming, or in Rosenfork, or in Halliburton, or in Jackson State, or at Alcorn, was just there to have fun. Now, I don't know about you, but I am really shying away from mass gatherings. It almost kind of scares me to go where there's a whole lot of people that I don't know, that I'm not familiar with, that is not heavily regulated and controlled. Because you don't know who might show up and what they might have on their mind. Now, you don't know anything about this term, but they call them YNs. And if Carolyn wasn't here, I could tell you what that means. I can't tell you because you here. YNs. That's what they call themselves now. YNs, young, the N-word. And they are a group of young people who self-describe themselves as being notorious, bad, famous, and fearless, and reckless. It's really what they are. They are YNs. Now we are ONs. We old. We ONs. But they YNs.
But Pastor, once they steal the gun, how can they get the bullets?
Huh?
They're not old enough to get the bullets.
It don't make any
If
difference.
they steal the guns, how do they get the bullets?
Gladys, come on.
You gotta have ID to get the
You don't have to have nothing if you steal it. They ain't going to these stores and buying no gun. Now don't think these folks. Gladys, they don't have, Gladys, come on. They don't have to steal no bullets. If they stealing the gun, they steal the bullets and the gun, the bullets and the gun. They don't have to do that. There's always a black market out here for these young people to get possession of bullets and guns. And most of the guns that are on the streets now are stolen guns. It was almost 27,000 firearms stolen from cars and houses in North Mississippi this year. 27,000. And I might be a little off. 27,000 firearms stolen from people, from their cars and their houses. And so when people break into your house or your car, they're looking for guns. They ain't looking for money no more. Because everybody is packing now. They think it's a badge of honor. It's like having on a pair of Jordan tennis shoes. It's a badge of honor to say they packing now. They see that as a badge of honor to have a gun on them. And the problem I keep telling my members and the people that I talk to, you don't know who's packing these days. That's why you can't afford a confrontation with somebody, because you don't know if these YNs or these ONs are packing. Everybody is afraid. Everybody is on edge. So the young YNs making some of us ONs carry our guns. And so I'm telling you, we live in a crazy world now where it's out of control. And gun control is not the issue, because they ain't buying them, they're stealing them. And then if you take all the guns from the good people, the only people gonna have guns is bad people. So that ain't the solution, to tell the good people you can't have a gun, and the bad people ain't going to get their guns legitimately and legally, they're going to get them illegally. And so I'm telling you, this murder culture that we live in, this taking of innocent life without any conscience.
Yeah, like that shooting at the nursing home.
Yes. Who would go into a nursing home and shoot somebody?
And no, this is what people live in the nursing home. What?
Well, oh yeah, okay, I get you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So somebody in the nursing home had a gun.
Somebody in the nursing home had a gun. These elderly people, it was at a picnic. You know how they have the gag out.
Picnic, yeah.
And one of them came out and seen his girlfriend. You know,
Old people have good. Come on, I have about 5 boyfriends.
Yeah, he seen his girlfriend talking with a new man in a wheelchair. He go back into his complex, and his gun come out and shoot the man in the wheelchair. The girlfriend got mad that he shot her new boyfriend, so she knocked him to the ground, took the gun and shot him. But now the new boyfriend shot and the old boyfriend shot. The new boyfriend shot the old boyfriend shot the new boyfriend, and the girlfriend shot the old boyfriend.
See, that's crazy. See,
in the nursing home.
In a nursing home.
Yeah, it's so.
But see, that's my point. And I am for limiting the restriction to guns to people who are not mentally capable.
Yes.
You do need to limit access to guns who have a mental problem, have any mental problems in their medical records. Go ahead. You do know, because you can access, because when you do a background check, you know whether or not they have been flagged through being arrested or through, now I'm not talking about the gun seller making an evaluation, but the gun law checks, you gotta wait 24 hours before you get a gun. And so some of those medical records need to be, the HIPAA laws prevent some of our medical information from being released. But if that person already has an issue with some kind of mental illness, you do need to restrict. And I know it's a complicated issue. I don't want to get too bogged down in it. But what I'm saying is, I do understand there is some need for some kind of restriction to keep certain people from getting firearms.
Yeah.
Firearms.
Like Carolyn was saying, you can't visually know.
You can't visually know. You can't visually know. That's what I'm saying. So it's not up to the seller. It has to be some other extensive process. But let me tell you something. It's some of these family members that can keep some of their crazy family members from possessing or having a gun in their possession. You know they ain't right. What you letting them walk around with a gun for? You know what I mean? Why are you letting them walk around with a gun? Okay, first of all, we about gonna need to ban all guns from family reunions, because family reunions get pretty heated sometimes. I'm just waiting for that to be one of the next places where people can't gather because folks so mad everybody is charged up. So I really just want to talk about that, because we live in this death culture now, and listen, it doesn't even surprise us anymore. We're not even shocked. And this is what I wanted to tell some people. I want to talk about this fact that guns are not killing people. Let me tell you the second thing I want to talk about. I'm moving on. White people ain't killing black folk. Because at Halliburg, at Leland, at Jackson State, at Rosenford, Alcorn, and Jackson State, it wasn't no white people. Now I'm telling you, there are a lot of leaders calling for black people to take more responsibility for our own community and quit barking about what the white man doing to us is what we doing to ourselves. It's the stuff that we don't check each other about. We keep talking about a white cop killing a black man, but we don't never want to talk about black people killing black people. That's the death cult what we have in America is we have young black men killing other young black men or killing innocent victims. And we got to, at some point, sit down and start having a conversation with ourselves about ourselves as a black community. And if we don't, if we can't march because we're killing each other, what we marching called one white cop kills one black man. And I know it is wrong. I'm not justifying the murder of that black man by that white cop, but that happens very rarely. But in Chicago, in Memphis, in New Orleans, in South Carolina, it happens every weekend. And I've not seen one march, no real outrage about what's going on in our community among our young people. But George Floyd death sparked a national movement. In the meanwhile, in Minnesota, black people killing black people every day. And you ain't called for no march, no protest. See, that's the problem. So I don't want us to keep blaming guns, and I don't want us to keep blaming white people. We are killing each other. We are absolutely killing each other. And we really kill each other for no reason. It is just killing people, and really most of the times when somebody gets shot in a mass killing, especially like what happened at those 3 high schools and those 2 colleges this weekend, the person who shot the gun didn't even get to shoot the person they intended to shoot. They were just shooting it randomly. And so you just so happen to be at that event and you don't even know the person that fired the gun, and you're just an innocent victim. That's the danger. And the Mississippi Athletic Association has canceled all tailgates recommended for the rest of the year. Because one person can mess it up for us all. Well, listen, they didn't have to cancel them because I'm done. I don't have to cancel them. And I hate to say this, I don't even go where a lot of young folk gonna be.
That's right.
I don't go because I don't know what's gonna happen. Because you don't know, you could be an innocent victim. So I'm saying, the Bible says, thou shalt not kill. And the root of that is rage, fueled by anger, that leads to murder, taking of innocent life. And we live in a death culture now where it is, people don't think nothing of it. To shoot somebody, to stab somebody, and then that's the other question. You talk about taking away all the guns, but what about the situation in North Carolina where a girl was sitting on the train, the boy didn't use no knife, he stabbed her with a knife. It's the human heart where we need to really talk about. Go ahead.
And then, on that show Outline, they showed what his name, this black guy, young black guy, got on his train. He was a lady sitting over there, minding her own business.
That's what I'm talking about.
And he got on his train, he stepped back out the train, then he stepped back into the train, and when he stepped back in, he set the woman on fire.
Yes,
And went outside the door and watched her burn.
Yeah, that's my point. It is a matter of the human heart. To take away guns and knives and make more laws is not going to stop murder and killing in America. You got to deal with the root cause of the problem, which is the human heart. If you don't see this as a moral issue where we need to be trying to bring people to faith in Jesus Christ, they come to faith in Jesus Christ, they have morals, and morals are the only thing that restrains a person from committing murder. Morals, not laws, not the restriction of guns, not white people, but you got to have some morals. Go ahead. But that's the problem.
You know, Lorna, when you were talking about that, look, I have the opportunity to get folk food in their home, and the lady called me and told me, this man, she didn't tell me about the age, but I just assumed he was a man, that he was home and eating food. Well, I called the white lady to give me proof to go to the community, and I got the food, and I brought it back. And I went to the house and I noticed when it was a young man come out, lady house, and she said she had that clean up a little barn outside. They put he got the food carried in there. Then they called me again that he said he didn't have no money for a job. Could he go up there to break down boxes? And then, look, they told me to pick him up. I said, I'll pick him up. Then they told me, said, look, that's a young boy. He had a whole lot of hair on his head. He lucky about.
Yeah.
And they said, do not pick that boy.
Don't pick him up and let me move on. I'm gonna go on tell you. Don't be picking up folk you don't know.
Well,
I mean, don't. I don't care. You cannot. You don't have that much. I understand compassion and great, but you don't be putting people in your car that you don't know, because you don't know where people are. You don't know what their intentions are. Don't be giving nobody no ride. Don't be inviting nobody to your house. That stuff. I gotta move on, because I'm just telling you that is not stuff you do. Not even me, and I'm a man. We got the homeless are fed down the street from my house, and they come like, you need me to mow your yard, and I don't pray for them, and I ain't got no compassion, but I ain't gonna play like that, because I don't know whether you scoping me out and 5 people with you, behind you, get out of my yard, and you can't trust people no more. I'm gonna move on. You cannot trust people. People will take your kindness for weakness, and they will take advantage of you. You don't need to be even conversating with people, these young YNs that you don't know. People talk about you got to be helpful to people and be careful. Entertaining strangers, you might be entertaining an angel. Yeah, you are. You could also be entertaining a devil. I'm just saying, you got to be spirit-led and let the Spirit lead you and have some discernment, because discernment will tell you things are not right. This don't feel right. You don't look right, and so don't even entertain it. Let me go to the next one, because I don't have a lot of time. But thou shalt not kill. We got to do something about the condition of the human heart, deal with the rage and the anger that's in these people's hearts that cause them want to commit murder. And the second one is thou shalt not commit adultery. Jesus really amplifies that the root of adultery is lust. Now, we live in a sexually charged culture where you can't watch anything, look at anything, or see anything, and it's not sending some kind of sexual message. Jesus says the root of adultery is lust. Lust in the heart that is uncontrollable and not put in check. Now, lust is not a bad thing, because we're supposed to lust, because lust leads us to wanting somebody of the opposite sex. So lust is not a bad thing. If you ain't got no lust, I'm gonna have to pray for you. You need to have some level of lust, because lust is a legitimate desire, but it becomes lust and sinful when that legitimate desire is out of control and it controls you and you can't control it. You can't keep it under subjection. You can't keep it leashed up to where it is so out of control that it causes you to commit the sin of adultery or any other sexual sin. And we live in a society where people do not have control of their lust, because our lust in the culture we live in is fed every day. We live in a culture where if you feed your flesh, it's going to be overpowering and strong. If you starve your flesh, you can keep it in check. But it's hard to in this polarized society we live in today. See, y'all used to not be the target of these young men. But see, y'all cougars now. They want y'all. Don't sit there like that. Y'all laugh all you want to. They see y'all as cougars now. And they want your money and your car and your check on the weekend, on first of the month. These young men see y'all now. They used to not even look at y'all. But now y'all cougars. Gladys, now you talking too loud. But I'm just saying, it used to be that they did, but now, and it's all about this unchecked lust they have, and lust, this undesirable, this need to satisfy the flesh, and really you got to keep it in check, because listen, lust is defined as a legitimate desire God gives us. When Adam saw Eve, he lusted for her because he said, woman, or wild, bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. It was an instantaneous attraction that was sparked by lust or sexual desire. It piqued his sexual interest because it woke up the sexual desire that he had somebody like the animals had to not only cohabitate with, but to be intimate with. So lust is not a bad thing if it's kept in check. It's a legitimate desire that everybody's supposed to have for the opposite sex. Now, lust can become perverted. It can become an abomination. It can become self-destructive. It can be something that leads you down the road to do a whole lot of things that are not healthy, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Now, Romans chapter 1 is all about out of check and unchecked lust. All of chapter 1 of Romans. Now, I want you to read Romans chapter 1. Now, if you don't think that Romans chapter 1 is all about unchecked lust, where society, in a particular time when Paul was writing, the Roman culture was a perverted culture. It created people like Caligula. And some of these Roman emperors were sexually depraved, and Roman culture was sexually depraved. They had all kinds of traditions that they had normalized in the culture of the Roman Empire. Now the church at Rome existed in this culture, in this town, in this society, and Paul says, y'all have now started looking like the culture, society. One of the reasons why he wrote, therefore be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed. Paul was writing to this church in Rome, but he talked about in that first chapter, he talked about two particular things. He talked about the women had lost their natural affection, interest, and attraction to men, and now they're attracted to women. And then he said, the men likewise. And he said, for this reason, God gave them first over to their vile, V-I-L-E, affections. God gave them over to that. God says, if that's what y'all want to do, if that's how y'all want to get down, I'm out of here. If that's what y'all want to do. Then it says, it had started with their vile affections, their perverted lust, out of control lust, unchecked lust, and it had gone beyond what they could control, and so God gave them over to that. And then it had infected their minds, because then it says God gave them over to a reprobated mind. Because if you get into a situation and your lust goes unchecked and it becomes so perverted and it's so out of check, it will corrupt your mind, and there will be no limits to what you will do in order to satisfy your lust. Nothing you won't do. I mean, you will become so debased, nothing will be off limits. We see it in our society now. People will rape an old woman or a 3-year-old child. That is a debased and perverted mind. That's where we are in our society, where people will have no limits, no restraints, no restrictions. You got to make sure, and you got to pray, and sometimes you have to intentionally starve your flesh. Watch what your eyes see and what your ears hear. Because if not, you will have no ceiling and no basement, and you will do anything. It's dangerous now, because people don't realize that's where we are in our society. It's unchecked, it's unleashed, it's out of control. And so he says that's what leads to adultery. And he really talks about the lust that is out of control, that leads people to do things that are reckless. And he talks about adultery specifically because it not only affects the person who commits it, but the person who is committed on it. And you talk about the culture in which they left, which was Egypt. They did not even see marriage as sacred. It is about the sacredness of marriage, that marriage is between a man and a woman, and they are to stay within that union to get each other's sexual needs fulfilled and satisfied. So it is about that. Now let me deal with this other one, because I ain't got a lot of time. Because I sure want to deal with thou shalt not steal. Because that's the other problem in our society. Not only lust, not only anger that leads to rage, that leads to murder, but stealing. Boy, I could really get into this one, but I ain't gonna get too far into that. Thou shalt not steal. If it does not belong to you, and you do not have ownership, you shouldn't take it. Do not steal. Now, a thief is hard for me to stomach. Now listen, don't it hurt you if somebody steals from you? And most of the times you'll give it to them if they just ask. But don't take what does not belong to you. If you need it, ask me, I might give it to you. But don't steal. Steal is to take what does not belong to you and use it for yourself without the regard of the person who owns it. You don't know how hard they work for their stuff. Now let me tell you something. My car been broken in and it is a violation. I don't feel safe now. It is an utter violation of my personal space. You just don't feel the same. When something you work hard for, somebody break into it, violate your personal space, violate your right to own property, and try to take what you work hard for. You know the reason? I'm gonna give you about 3 reasons why people steal. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you 3 reasons. But I'm gonna tell you, stealing is a problem in our society. People break in homes, they break in your cars, they rob convenience stores. And theft is so small, people will take your bicycle. They'll walk up and rob you coming out the grocery store. They'll snatch your purse while you at a gas station. Because there is a theft culture in which we live in where people will take. It has gotten really bad. Stealing is wrong. And when they came out of Egypt, God wanted to preserve a society where people who worked hard for what they wanted and what they wanted to possess, to make sure that there was no illegal confiscation of people's personal property that they worked hard for. You just should not steal. Because so much of theft in our society today, if somebody asks you for something, you probably give it to them. Ain't it true what I'm saying? You probably give it to them. If you need it that bad, you can have it. But don't steal. Let me give you the 3 reasons why people, I think this is just the teacher's observation of why people steal today. Is because some people steal because they don't want to work. They don't want to work for anything. They don't want to go out and get a job, receive an income, and then go out and buy what they need and what they want. And if they see you got it, they think they can have it. They don't want to work. You see some of these young people that are stealing today, some of these young men, they can have what they steal if they go out and get a job. They can have a car, they can have clothes, tennis shoes, they can live whatever life you want to live if you go and work. We live in a culture where work is not promoted in our society at all. People steal because they don't want to work. They just don't want to work. Let me give you the second reason. People steal because what they steal they can't afford. They steal because they don't want to work, but they steal because they can't afford what they steal. Very rarely people go into the Dollar Tree and steal because they about can afford everything in there. I ain't saying they won't steal in there. I'm saying very rare. But people go and steal what they can't afford. If you don't have enough income to afford something, you just can't afford it. You can't take somebody else's who can afford it and take it and claim it as your own. Thou shalt not steal. When I was a landscaper, me and Charles Skinner, we used to landscape, and we were landscaping up in Highland Circle, and these are rich people. These are rich people. Now listen to this, these are rich people in Highland Circle. There's this woman, we used to landscape her yard, and she had a neighbor. And what her neighbor would do, now listen to this is rich people in the most affluent neighborhood in Tupelo, in Highland Circle. You know what this man would do to water his yard? He would go hook his hose up to the woman we work for yard and use her water to water his flowers. now, ain't that something? And we went out there and caught him one day and got the hose, and Charles took it over there, and we didn't even live there, but Charles went off on him like, you thief! You got 6 spigots around your house, and you're gonna come over here and hook up your hose to this old widow's house and water your yard. Now who does that? A thief. He could afford it.
Yeah, somebody could afford it.
But just being cheap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that one in there too, because some people steal because they just cheap. They just cheat. They just steal because they cheat. In other words, they're always trying to get over on somebody.
Yeah.
And so they'll steal because they cheat and they feel like they can get it an easier way, or they can get it without a lot of effort, and then they can get it without being seen. Or they think they can get away with it. Because there's different levels of theft. It is the taking of other people's possessions because you won't work. There's the taking of other people's possessions because you're just one of those people that want what you can't afford. And then there's theft. Now I ain't gonna get to this one because y'all got mad with me. We ain't talking about stealing from God. And God said you can steal from him. You can be a thief and take what you should be given to him. And he said, if you do that, you curse with a curse. And matter of fact, I'm gonna shut the windows of heaven up, and I'm gonna send all kind of hell to your house. Because the Bible says, he says, if you steal from me, I am not gonna rebuke the devourer. I'm gonna let the devourer, I'm gonna let them boll weevils and all that pests eat up all your crop. You're gonna have trouble after trouble. And see, when stealing from God is one thing. Because I'm telling you, I can make this principle, and some people on this page, preachers really gonna like this. I'm telling you, you can track some of your troubles to you stealing from God. Especially when God lets you have so much. We ain't even talking about the material, monetary things God let you have. Your life, grace, safe travel, another day's journey, and you gonna hold back on him? You ought to give God everything you're supposed to give him plus some. Because it don't measure up to what he give you. Forget about the little monies. Monies don't wake you up, can't give you a good night's sleep, don't give you health and strength. You should never steal from God. But to steal from one another. Now, one of the things all preachers are accused of, and all people who handle money in the church, they swear we stealing. I ain't never seen a group of people that accuse another group of people stealing more than church folk are accused of stealing. First of all, if I had to steal, I wouldn't steal from the church. If I just had to steal, I ain't taking nothing because I ain't stealing from the church. I'm stealing from God. So forget the church. This is God's money, because once it's given on the offering table, it no longer is the possession of the person that gave it, neither is the possession of the church. It's God's money. And what Peter told Ananias and Sapphira, y'all hadn't stole from us, y'all stole from God. You lied to God. You sit up here and gave these 2 pennies like you was giving your best offering, and you sit up here and lied to God. And God took offense to that and killed both of them. Boy, if God killed us because I give, it'd be a whole lot of dead folk. Because you know you ain't getting what you supposed to be giving. Be some folk falling dead coming around that offering. Soon as you drop that little envelope in that thing, you be call Carter's. Call Carter's. Because we're supposed to be honest in our giving. But I'm just telling you, I think people steal because they want work, steal because they want what they can afford. And that's why people steal. And then some people are just a thief. They just ain't no good. Boy, you ever heard that saying? Boy, I heard that so much. My grandmother and them used to say, I didn't know what they were talking about till I got old. It's some folks just ain't no good.
Yeah.
You can't trust them around nothing. You can't trust them with nothing. They just ain't no good. And some folks, they just ain't no good. Do you understand what that means? Some of y'all older, when old folk used to say that, they just ain't no good. It's just in them not to do right. As one old lady in our neighborhood used to say, it's some folks just ain't got no do right in them. Ain't got no do right in them. You can't trust them with nothing. If you trust them, you better trust them with 1 eye open, 1 eye closed. Send them to the store then. If they come back. If they come back, you send them a $20 bill and the stuff costs $9. And you be like, where my change? Cuz, man. You know, always got an excuse. Just ain't no good. And some people still cause they just ain't right. They ain't got no do right in them. And see, and listen, one of the things that I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to close about stealing, is to take somebody else's possession. But to steal, in the sense Jesus is really talking about it when he amplifies it, because he's going to really talk about the stuff that you can steal that doesn't belong to you. You shouldn't take anything from anybody that you are not owed and deserve. They talk about the HA secretary saying, look, you often have to get off some of these stamps. Your voucher is 2 years. If you able-bodied American can work, and you get benefits and you can work, and you take something fraudulently, that's stealing. That's absolutely taking what you have not earned, what you don't deserve, and you are doing it through fraudulent means. Now go ahead.
I was gonna say like General Attorney James.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I'm gonna tell you what really get on my nerves, Patrick. Now listen, you ain't that disabled if you out there dancing on that dance floor. Now I know what it means to be disabled. Now, you've been getting disability 10 years. Can't beat you out there on the dance floor doing all that stuff. If you are getting disability and you're not disabled, that's stealing. You get what I'm saying? Are the same people who get EBT, as Dr. Jamal Bryant, Hope Bryant said, you have fixed your nails, did all this stuff, but you can't afford no food. It's stealing, I'm just telling you. Do y'all get what I'm saying? You can steal by taking the possessions of somebody else that you don't, that's not yours, but you can also steal by being dishonest, receiving that which is not yours. Letitia James, she stole $18,000 because she was not honest. When you're not honest and you get what you have not earned and don't deserve, and you get it by fraudulent means, that is theft. That's still stealing. So that you just tell the truth. Lie on your income tax, that's stealing. Swear up and down, you filing your grandchildren's kids on your income tax to get an income tax credit. Same thing. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's still stealing. When you get what is not yours, what you don't deserve, what you hadn't earned, what you're not entitled to, is the same thing as still. And that's where we are in our society. And see, the problem we have, and I'm closing, everybody feels entitled like somebody owes them something.
Now, a lot of our this when it comes to stealing from the system as a whole.
Yeah.
They owe that.
No, they don't owe you nothing.
And nothing happened to you.
Nothing happened to you.
You just sorry and lazy.
Yes.
And you listen at all these folks and run around our so-called leaders and tell us if it's a white folks, you got a right to take it.
Yes.
Get as much of it as you can. See, but they're not telling you, you still got to go by God in the end.
Yes.
So, and then on my phone the other day, it was a girl that worked in the Medicaid office in Louisiana.
Yeah.
You let one of your relatives entice you to fix it, you know what she
Yeah.
about $20,000 for Medicaid stuff that she wasn't even supposed to be on.
Yeah.
Now you have a job.
Yep.
They're gonna put you in there.
Yep.
They gonna get the resident that
Yeah.
that you did it for, and you gonna be barred from any government program.
Yes.
So if you do get sick or something.
Yeah.
And might need to be on disability or whatever.
Yeah.
chances are you ain't getting it.
Absolutely. They're different. Oh, the government. And we know some situations where people have defrauded the government, and the government, they garnishes their benefits.
Yeah, you can't get that.
You can't get anything. That's theft too. That's stealing. Not just going into a store taking merchandise that doesn't belong to you, but by fraudulent means you are receiving what is not owed or due. Go ahead, Sister B.
Well, it don't matter, we do it each other.
Yeah.
If you send this steal from somebody today.
Yep.
I remember when my husband, auntie died, she stayed down there on Griffin Street, those of you familiar know what that is.
Yeah.
That lady died like on a Wednesday evening. Them clowns down in that area broke in her house
And stole.
and stole.
Broke in the woman's house after she died
Right
in the neighborhood
you can't say you didn't know.
and didn't know she was dead.
They
Yeah.
broke in the house. When they found out she had died, they broke her. Now, no white folks should do that.
Yeah.
That's us.
Yeah, and that's the kind of stuff. Go ahead, Carolina, because I got to get out of here.
I'm saying real quick. Okay, let me ask you a question though. About stealing. Okay, so I'm a mother with 3 or 4 kids.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have any food in my house. I'm just saying. And I go to the store and I don't have any money to get food with, but I gotta feed the kids. So if I take a local bread and some peanut butter, I know that's stealing. But would that be ever against me now?
Absolutely still stealing. But it's stealing, period. But I do understand the desperation. There was a woman, I saw a story of a woman who had several children and was taking care of her mother. And what she did was she went into the grocery store, filled her grocery cart full of food, drove home, put that food in her house, and the police was chasing her and went outside and said, arrest me. But it is what it is. But she still got to suffer the consequences. It's not right. You still was stealing. Yes.
But if you didn't pay her, then what you know?
It's stealing. And we do understand people are put in that situation, but it's still stealing. It does not negate the fact that it's still stealing. We don't understand the extenuating circumstance. We don't have to. The law says if you take something that does not belong to you from somebody you're stealing. It's still theft, regardless. There is no justifiable reason for theft or stealing. There's no justification. I can justify anything I do.
Because if it was, then in the Bible, like to be, God would see all that.
Yes.
He put something in there to take care of that for.
Yep. Y'all got any more questions coming? Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lust. Lust unchecked, legitimate, but needs to be put in check so you don't become perverted or if you don't become extreme. But don't lose your lustful desires for the opposite sex. You ought to always want to coat and hold somebody to hold your hand. But then don't steal in no kind of way. Don't be dishonest and don't take the possessions of somebody else. Y'all still with me? I'm just trying to explain it to you.